Microsoft Word is undoubtedly the most successful word processor and the de facto standard, at least in the business domain. But this only is true as long as you are talking about Microsoft Word on a Windows machine. On an iPad, the battle royale between Word and its biggest competitor, Apple's own Pages app, is a completely different game. When I started comparing both apps on an iPad, I was blown away in how many categories Apple Pages smokes Microsoft Word. And not only in obscure categories, but in main ones, where you expected Microsoft to lead. Here is an overview of features where Apple Pages smokes or even completely destroys Microsoft Word if used on an iPad. Mail merge, spreadsheet integration, quick graphs, drawings, image handling, web video integration, threaded or linked text fields, smart annotation, importing other documents, audio integration, collaboration, and document export. As you can see from the list, these are some really important features. And when I found out that Apple Pages fares actually way better in some of these categories, like mail merge or spreadsheet integration, I was literally speechless. These are domains where Microsoft Word on a PC is actually the dominant app in most business environments for these kinds of tasks. Microsoft Word not being able to merge contact data or table data in a serial letter template, or not being able to integrate table data from Excel the way Pages can import numbers tables, blew my mind. But see for yourself how Pages wins in each of these categories. I'm only comparing Microsoft Word and Apple Pages on the iPad here. This applies to you mainly if your main word processing device is the iPad. If you are using Microsoft Word on a PC or Mac, or if you are heavily invested in Microsoft Office 365, or you are working in a dominant MS Office work environment, or you have to exchange Word documents frequently with people who are using Microsoft Word, then of course Microsoft Word might be your best choice due to the compatibility or compliance reasons. You might have to do it, but you might not enjoy it. With that out of the way, let's dive into each category. Let's start with a bang. Mail merging, or the act of creating a serial letter, is one of the fundamental features of every full-fledged word processor. But you cannot do this at all on Word for iPad. Microsoft really dropped the ball here. This is where you can see that they watch the iPad version only as an accessory to the PC version and not as a fully fledged application on its own. So let's see how easy it is to create a mail merge in Pages. Here we are in a blank Pages document. And it is so easy to create a mail merge. You just select the three-dot menu and then you say mail merge. And then you add mail merge fields. For instance, I click on this plus symbol here, and then it accesses the local contacts app on the iPad. So I can just create a mail merge letter with all the contacts I have on my iPad here. Let's start with using the full name and the home address. And by the way, I just want to have a new line between those. And then I will start with dear, and let's add the first name. And then let's create a letter like this. We would like you to come to our opening of our new store or a new restaurant. And you know what you can also do? You can define a sender address here. Let's add, for instance, something like the full name again here, but this time let's say this is the sender field, and the work address of the sender here. What does that mean? Wait a second. Okay, now we're ready. We prepared our mail merge template, and once we're ready, we've inserted all the fields. We can then say merge. And with merge, you see, you get this. First, you have to define who's the sender here. And I prepared this already here. I do have a contact in my contacts list. I created the Cheesecake Factory. I selected here. Then you said, okay, now I either have the option to select my contacts or a spreadsheet. So I select all my contacts. Wait a second, I do have here a specific group. I have a test field here. And then it automatically assigns the fields here. So I can do what I can do is I can actually preview the 4 records that I have. And you see, oh, it looks pretty good. So we have Sheldon Cooper. Some of you might remember the names, and of course the address here. And we have Leonard Hofstadter and Penny Hofstadter, and we have the Cheesecake Factory. Now, because I have those 4 in one group, I want to only select, I want to only invite 3 of those, right? The Cheesecake Factory is of course the sender. If I want to have a selection of only some addresses, I can do that by going into the contacts here again. And at the bottom, choose select contacts. And there you can then select the individual contacts you want to invite. Let's select these 3 here. Press done, press merge. And then he creates a new document, and Pages asks you whether you want to open the document. You said, yep, open. And there we are, the 3 letters right now. Sheldon Cooper, Leonard Hofstadter, and Penny Hofstadter. And that was mail merge. It's easy to do this on an iPad, on Pages or within Pages, but you can't do that at all in Word. So sad. Another category where I was blown by the fact that Word loses to Pages is integrating Spreadsheet. Integrating Excel tables into Word is one of the most used integrations in the corporate environment. While you can import Excel tables into Word documents on an iPad via copy-paste, this feature is nothing compared to the numbers integration in Pages. When you copy an Excel table into Word, the table and formatting will be preserved, but any calculations and functions will be dropped. That means any changes within the table in Word will not be reflected in calculated fields. See for yourself. Let's go to Microsoft Word, and then let's switch over to Excel. There we do have some calculations here. It's pretty standard stuff. Let's bring over this whole shebang. I select everything, and as you can see, first do copy, go over to Microsoft Word, paste. As you can see, it brings over only the table cells. Okay, so it doesn't bring over the graph that I have. Let's select the graph individually, bring it over, paste it. Okay, there it is. Well, it doesn't look as nice here. I want to bring this over. And there you see another problem that we very often have is with images and also with charts, you do have this wrap text mode, and by default it is in line with text or top and bottom, and in this case I want to have it side by side, so I have to do something like this one here in front or behind text, and then I can do something like this one. It looks more or less the same here. Okay, so it looks now similar, but what unfortunately happened is the formulas are gone completely. And there is no option to do any calculations here. So for instance, let's say my mortgage went up by, it doubled, 3,000. It's pretty hard, you see, but money left over is still the same. So calculations won't work, and the graph isn't adapting. So what you can only do here is you can do some stuff within tables, so you can change the styling and shading and all this stuff. The same with the graph here. You can select elements, and whether you want to have chart titles or not. You want to select you want to change the colors. You want to change the styles. But there is no calculation, so you can't calculate within Word, which is a real bummer. Now let's switch to Pages, how it works. So first we go into a new Pages document, and then let's go into numbers. And I have the same demo data. And of course in numbers it's even different, because we do have 3 tables here. We do not have one table like in Excel, but we do have 3 tables which are connected. So for instance, this income minus expenses refers to both tables here. And the chart references, of course, also all the tables here. So what happens if I bring all of this over? Okay, select everything here, copy, go to Pages, say paste. Wow, so first, let's make it a bit smaller here. Yes, it's not perfect, but it's way better than what Word did, because it brought over nearly perfect. So of course I do have to readjust the header here. Let's do that. Okay, something like this one, and maybe I don't want to have these one here, all of these here. Just a squeeze to the side, so bring them over a little bit, something, but that's fine. So this is a bit of layout that I have to do, but wait a second. What works here is calculations. They're still working. So let's do again the doubling of my mortgage. Oops, only double. Wow, you see, sometimes my money left over is gone. So what you can do in Pages is you can do calculations by bringing tables over from numbers. Unfortunately, what doesn't work is the charts, as you can see, for instance. So it didn't reflect the changes here. That is because the way Pages works with charts is a bit different than numbers. So it doesn't reflect the changes here because the data of that chart is within the chart object itself. What you have to do is you have to right-click on the chart and then you have to say edit data. And there you can edit the data within the chart object. It's a bit different, but at least you can do it. You can't do that at all in Word. So another huge win for Pages here. Now, as you've already seen, so you can bring over graphs from, let's say, Excel to Word or from numbers to Pages. But what you can't do within Word is you can create a graph all by itself. And you can do that within Pages. Let's see. For instance, let's create a new document here. And then just create a new graph here. And what you can then do is you can go in and you can edit your data here, just right in the graph object as I've shown you. So I can just quickly create a new chart without needing to go back to numbers if I want to. So that's pretty useful. Though both apps have drawing features, I really like the selection of tools better within Pages. In Word, you only have one style of pencil and can only select the colors, while in Pages you have different styles of pencil types. Let me show you. So in Word, you're going to draw and there you have your selection, but these are all the same pencil types. It's just the different colors that you have here. So you can do your thickness and your color, but that's all you can do. And of course, then you can use the Apple Pencil and you can draw, stuff like this one here. But you see, you have these nice effects that you can do, but the only thing you can actually do is you can do effects or colors, and you can have line thickness. When we switch over to Pages, we can go to the image menu and then go to drawing. And there we have the palette that you know, for instance, from Freeform or from Numbers and all the other apps, where you can select the thickness, the opacity, for instance, something that's really nice. Then you can have a really complete way of selecting colors and changing the opacities here and create something like this one here. Or you can have these color fillers, for instance, really nice. You have a highlighter. And as you can see, it's much more, you have different, layers where you can become way more artistic with your expression here. So all in all, both of them have drawing capabilities. I really prefer the one in Pages way more. Now, image handling. Working with images is much more enjoyable and easy in Pages compared to Word. Here's why. Number one, layouting. Adding an image is easy within both apps, but creating a beautiful layout is much more intuitive with Pages. You just drag the picture around, and even dragging it on another page works intuitively. Let me show you. For instance, here you have a template and there is an image in there. And what you can do is, of course, you can resize it and you see immediately the text floats around it. I can drag it around and just put it wherever I want. Actually, I don't even have to care about the separation of header and text region because I can drag it all around here. And I really like this, the way the images float, for instance. You can do something that Word actually wants you to do, is you can go into the format menu and you can define the way the text wraps around the image, something like around or something like above and below, where you have, this, where the image takes up the space to the left and right. But I really prefer very often the automatic way, where, if you drag it in the center, it selects the one mode, but if you move it to the right or to the left, it makes the text flow automatically. So this is a huge win. Now let's compare that to Microsoft Word. Now here, for instance, we do have another template in Word and we have text and we do have an image here. Let's resize that a bit here. And if I move this around, let's make it a bit smaller here. And if I move this one around, you see first, it looks like I can move it here, but it's so hard. I can't move it again. This is, I don't know why this is sometimes so awkward with Word. So what Word wants you to do is you really always have to go into the picture menu, and then you have to change the way the text wraps around it. So if I really want to move it freely, I do have, for instance, do something like this one here, square, and then you have the more or less the effect that you have with pages here. But it is so awkward. It is really so awkward to do this. So I really like the way Pages handles the layouting of images. Another function that is only available for iOS 16 but not in Word is the ability to remove the background in an image. So I have to jump over to Pages here, and for instance, let's see something like this one here, or let's add an image with a person in it. For instance, something like this one here. We select that one, set remove background, and boom, it's done. And then you can move it around. While it's not perfect, at least in this case, in some other photos it worked way better, but it's a good way to start. So this one is only available in Pages. Another thing I really like, which you can't do at all in Word, is masking pictures with non-square shapes. So for instance, let's select this one here, this image, and add a shape to it. Let's go for this one, for the diamond shape here. So what we can do, for instance, is we put the shape on top of an image, and then we select the image and the picture, and then what we do is we go to the image menu by clicking on the image again and saying mask with shape. And you see what you can do is, and then you can size and resize it. Let's go for this one here. Let's say I want to go for this thing, and then say done, and there you have your shape. And of course, you can do this with all kinds of shapes, so you can do this with diamonds, but you can also do this with circles, and also, so another nice feature that you have in Pages and not in Word. Another function that you have only in Pages is image galleries. What you can do is you can go, let's go to the bottom here, and you select from the image menu, and then you have the image gallery where you can select multiple images, and then you choose photos, add, and there it is. And what you can do here is you can switch between the photos. This doesn't make sense if you want to print it, but it makes a lot of sense if you are presenting it online, right? And the next feature that I like when it comes to images or videos in this case is you can, under the image menu, also add a web video. So you can bring in any YouTube link. Let's select one. So for instance, this nice video here, there you have it. This nice video by myself. I can insert it here, and you have a web player, which again makes no sense if you want to print this document, but it makes a lot of sense if you are presenting it online or you are collaborating with someone else there. And you have an interactive web player. It has been several weeks now since Apple introduced another feature that makes no sense in print, but a lot in online presentation, is audio recording. So what you can do is you can press the record button, and then we are recording here. And I can then stop it, and what I can then even do is, not only can I preview it, I can trim it, I can cut it, I can delete it of course, but I can insert it here. And you get this little small circle here, which is the player, and once you click on it, we are recording here. The audio will play, and you can adjust the volume, and you can even loop the audio here. Again, makes no sense in print, but makes a lot of sense in online presentations. Another mind-blowing feature that Word is totally missing is the ability to connect or thread text boxes, which allows you to have really creative text flows on your page. Here is how you do this. From the shape menu, you select the text box, and let's just select 3 text boxes here. 1, 2, and 3. Okay. And we have 3 text boxes here, right? And what we can do is here, of course now they are separated. So you write in any text box here. This is our text. text, and I would like it to flow. Let's just create some more of that. You see, and if I come to the end of this text and I write more, you get this plus button. That means the size of this form is too small. I can of course change the size here and reveal the text, but what I would actually like, and let's space this out a bit more so that it gets a bit more dramatic, is I want this text to flow from the box number 1, from this box, to that box, and from there overflow it into this box. Something you can do here in Pages but not on Word. And the easy way to do this is you see this little circle here on the top. If you click it, it gets the number 1. That means it's the first box in a thread. And then let's select the second one and click on it. You see, immediately the overflow ends up in here. And let's add the third one to it, and then you can see, let's do some more of these texts here. Voila, that's how you do it. And that is something, again, only possible within Pages. Smart Annotation is a great feature by Pages where once you select it, all annotations you do with a pencil will be connected to the objects. If you move an object around, these annotations will stick to the object and will move with the object. I'll show you how. Okay, here I am in another page and I go to the 3-dot menu here and I select Smart Annotation, and you see I get my pencil palette here. And now it already has selected the highlighter. The highlighter is the tool you use for this one. So if you click on the highlighter, you have the option to select either a pen or a highlighter. So let's go for the pen, and of course you can select the thickness and the color and the opacity here. Let's go for the pen first. So with a pen, I can, for instance, scribble here and do something like this one. And let's say I want to change this one here, and I can even write here, change this. And let's go for the other tool, for the highlighter. And yeah, this is yellow, this is fine. So I can do something like this one here. I don't really like this. And I don't really like this one here. And let's go for sharpening, something like this one. Anyway, so these are now annotations. Now what happens if I leave with done the annotation mode? Now let's say I just want to move this table around. You see, the annotations, they stick with the object. Let's move this one over here. It's fantastic. Again, something I haven't found in Word. Great feature. Okay, so you can import other documents, especially PDFs, into a Pages document. It might not make sense all the time because what it will bring into is the PDF as an image, but at least you can do it. You can't do that at all in Word. So let's see how this works. I go for a blank page, and then I go to the image menu, and I say Insert From. And as you can see, there is a PDF. I select it, I said Open, and it is in Pages now. But as you can see, it's not really a PDF any longer. It's an image. You can resize it here. You can mask it. You can do all kinds of image manipulation with it. But I cannot, go for page 2 or 3 because there are several other pages in that document. I know that it just brought over page 1, and I cannot even enter the PDF and do things on the PDF. But at least page 1. So it's a bit limited. So it's not really a big win, but something like this isn't possible on Word, on an iPad at all. Okay, collaboration. Now, collaboration is actually excellent within Pages because it is the same collaboration that you have with apps like Freeform. So what I can do is I can go to the Share menu here, and then I can say, I want to collaborate, and then I can invite people. And what you then can see is that you can work at the same time with several people, and if they work on a document, you will see which portion they've selected, and you can immediately see where they are working. The same works on Word. In Word, you can go to the Share menu, and then you can select it in OneDrive. And in OneDrive, of course, several people can access the document, and it's a bit similar. You see where people are writing because you have a little icon here. You cannot chat with them. Of course, you can then go over to Teams. So the paradigm of of Microsoft is a bit different here. With Pages, you use, for instance, the chat functionality of iMessages, or you can even do video chats. All of this is possible. So I would say both of them have collaboration options. I really like the way Apple is doing it better on an iPad. And of course, with Word, you can work together with people who are on a PC, but of course, with Apple Pages, you need to have access to an Apple device. Now, document export. Word only has two export functions. It's PDF and open document text. See, when I go for export, open document and PDF. Pages, however, has way more export options. So if I go here to export, you see I can first publish it to Apple Books if that is what I would like to do. Otherwise, I can export it to PDF. You can export Word. So you can work with people together who are using Word on a PC, for instance. You can create EPUBs, you can create plain text files, RTF, and you can also export as a Pages template. So I think that Pages is much more versatile when it comes to exporting compared to Microsoft Word on an iPad. Okay, there you have my 12 features where Apple Pages smokes Microsoft Word. I hope you liked this video. If so, please hit the like button and join me by hitting the subscribe button as well. And by the way, if you want to learn how to create effective workflows using all of the iWork apps, Pages, Numbers, and Keynote, check out the next video. Okay, that's it for now. See you next time. Bye.